We are live. I didn't realize it was time to go live until I looked at the clock and I realized that it's 11 o'clock. Usually I go live at 1, but because of my kids' summer schedule with camp and stuff, I had to do it at 11 because once they come home, it's just too chaotic, and so I decided to go live now. All right, so today I'm going to talk about um, how do you optimize your Google Business Profile. Now, for those that have new Google Business Profile, or you haven't created your Google Business Profile, so the first thing you got to do, there are 4 items. I talked about it previously in my lives and videos before. Um, but this today is not really what I'm going to go over. Okay. And I'll explain that to you as I go into it a little bit. So there are 4 items that you really need to go into. Okay. When you optimize your Google Business Profile, and I'm not going to go over those in depth in this session. Okay. I'm going to talk about it. First thing is you got to create one and you're going to have to verify it. All right. Number 2 is you going to go and fill out every item um, in your Google Business Profile, every single item. Okay, especially your categories, your service area, and everything in there. Okay. Third is you're going to upload videos and photos. Okay. And then lastly, actually the third item should be reviews, getting reviews on your Google Business Profile, which is content in the eyes of Google Business Pro in terms of Google. Okay. And then the last item is uploading photos and videos. All right. But for the sake of today's video or session, in order for you to know where to go and where to really rank on your in your search engine, especially when it comes to local ranking, you got to know where you are. You got to look at your analytics, your insights, and performance. And that's what we're going to talk about today. All right. And so let me share my screen. Okay, let me share my screen. And I'm going to share the entire screen here. All right. So I'm going to look at, and these are some of our actual clients. I'm not going to show all of them, but I'm going to show you a couple of them. And, and I'm going to show you the analytics because in order for you to understand how people are landing or finding you, you gotta know that in order to figure out, okay, what do I need to improve? What do I need to do in order to better rank? Okay. And so I'm going to show you, this is Alan Sedin. Now, Alan is a artist, specifically a caricature artist in Canada, in Winnipeg. Um, and so if we look at the performance on his Google Business Profile, so for those that don't know how Google Business Profile, you go into your Google Business Profile by going to google.com/business. Oh, by the way, this is a short plug. So for those, I do have a monthly that I'm going to be running a monthly course. And the reason I'm running it monthly is because at the end of the day, we're trying to get people to actually do the things that I talk about, right? And so I decided to create a course that actually tries to get people to implement and do the course. Okay, for those, I'm going to put the link below. I'm also going to put it in the. Let me see if I can work this. It is. Let me see if that's. No, that's not exactly where it is. I apologize. Let me put it. Um, I'm gonna actually find out more. Okay, that should be the right one. All right, so for those that are interested in the course, every month there's gonna be a cutoff date, and then we're gonna start the course every single month for it's a 4-week course. It's a 4-week implementation course. And so basically you implement as you go along. And so to find out more, to find and to register, go to Local 360 Academy / find out more. Okay. All right. So continuing on with Alan Sedin. So he's a local caricature artist out in Winnipeg, Canada. And so what we did was we optimized his Google business profile. And what's awesome about what he's doing is that he's actually implemented. Okay, so for this, what I'm talking about today is more specifically for people that already have started implementing and then figuring out how to optimize and get better performance on their Google business profile. And in order for you to do that, you got to click on this right here and you can go to this setup. I did I don't know if I did. I talked about how to get to your profile edits. You can go to google.com / business. And then once you log in, then you click on manage now. And then once you get here, you click on performance. And today what we're going to take a look at is specifically the performance when these are searches. So basically these are search breakdown. And so what we want to see is how are people finding Alan based on what people are searching for, because that's most important. Because at the end of the day, if people you got to be found by people that are searching for you. And this is what's awesome about Google Business Profile is that that people are actually searching for you based on what they're looking for, right? And so let me click on more here. And as you can see here, people are searching because, and this is great because people are actually searching, and there's 166 searches based on people searching for caricature. And then there is the next search is caricature artist near me, caricatures again. And I think it's probably because, as you can see here, 18 people search specifically for him. It might also be that as people are typing it into their Google, Alan Sedin might pop up. So maybe that's how exactly they showed up. There's actually less than 15 showed up with Alan Sedin. And so looking at this, and what I usually do is, you want to look at this and see how are people searching for you, and is there other searches that could potentially that you want to focus on that can potentially increase your searchability, right? And so I think artist is a potential because while he is doing caricatures, another focus that we may actually put is maybe artists. Okay, and then just quickly looking through this, and then here's another one. Possibly it's Manitoba. I think Manitoba is, I'm not too familiar with the area there. So I know Winnipeg, and then I think Manitoba is like a county. So, another possible thing that we may focus on is expanding his search in not only Winnipeg, but also maybe possibly Manitoba. And so this is how you're expanding your searchability with Google Business Profile, right? So then you want to do it step by step because it does take time for Google to be, it's not an instantaneous, thing that happens, but it happens gradually over time. All right. So another thing that I maybe possibly drawing class kits. So this is where, okay, if this is something that Alan might be interested in, maybe this is something that he may want to focus on. So because there are people that are actually searching for drawing class, right? That's probably maybe because it's summertime, and then parents are looking for potentially something for kids to do during the summer. So this may potentially be something he may be interested in. But I also know that he does a show during the summer. So, but it is something to kind of look out for in this case. All right, so let's go to another case. I'm gonna Kosha has been one of our longest clients for the longest time. And so I want to look at their performance just quickly, right? And then when we look at their performance, okay, what this is telling me is a lot of people are searching for coachability, and so that's a good thing, right? And then the other thing is people are searching for realtor, so basically it's searching for real estate as well. So this is good. I mean, this tells me that we're doing the right thing. This is something which I have never seen before. It's probably because I haven't looked at this in some time. Um, Commercial real estate, because I have somebody else looking at these, just FYI. It's not that I'm not doing, sorry about that noise. Commercial real estate. And then, what I'm doing here is I'm looking through it and seeing where there are other opportunities where if you see less than 15, what can we do to increase searchability for Kosha? And so I'm just looking through this. And I know that for Kosha, what we have been trying to do is we're trying to expand into neighboring towns. And so I do believe that there was Florham Park here. So this is one area that we are trying to focus on in the surrounding towns, right? Now, in conjunction with this, we also do what we call a, let me pull my screen over here and pull Kosha. Just hold on a second. Let me do, just gonna pull the screen here. And so what we have here is what's called a heat map. And we utilize this in conjunction with the performance of the Google Business Profile to pretty much see where each of our clients are. All right. So if we look at the heat map, because, and I talked about this previously in one of my lives, is that in this particular case, it's called local search grid. And so what we're looking for is where these numbers represent where Kosha is ranking up relative to the search term, a search term. And so what we're looking at is when we look at these various search terms, realtor, real estate, houses, house for sale, and homes for sale. So if we take, let's say, for example, real estate. So if somebody is typing in real estate in a certain area, so for example, this main point is where their office is located. And so as people, there's a town called Whippany, there's I think it's West Caldwell, there is Livingston, here's Florham Park. So when somebody types in real estate in, let's say they're right over here in this location, Kosha real estate is ranking number 1 in the Google pack. So for those top 3 packs. And so we look at this heat map and to see where they're deficient and where they're strong. And then we decide where to focus our attention so that we can increase their searchability. And so this is a, and this is where you really, and at the end of the day, it's a lot about, knowing where you're deficient and where you want to increase. So maybe the broker of Chris may not want to expand into Livingston. I'm sure he does. So at the end of the day, and so this is what we look at and seeing where they're deficient. What can we do to increase their searchability? Okay, let's look at a couple of more. Here's this is my church that I go to, and they came to me at the beginning of the year because ultimately they weren't ranking when they should be, right? And so at the beginning of the year, I know for a fact that they were not ranking for church. Like they were ranking high for specifically, and they're still ranking high for the name Joy Christian Fellowship because I think a lot of people, including myself, when I want to go to my church on Sunday, I want to know how long it's going to take me. I type in on my Google Maps, Joy Christian Fellowship, and then it takes and shows me how long it's going to take. It's always because my kids are always running late. We're running late and we want to make sure we get there on time. But also, I know that when we first started, they were not ranking for church. So their people actually finding joy as a 74 when somebody types in church, non-denominational church. They're also searching as Christian church near me. Okay. Now, when we look at the heat map for that specific for joy, let's see here, joy, and then we look at the local search grid for Joy Christian Fellowship, and I want to show you where they were at the beginning of the year. So if we look at the beginning of the year, and you can look at, they were specifically at that location, they're ranking too, but anywhere else they weren't ranking, right? And as you can see right here, based on these search terms right here, they were ranking number 6 here. So let's just take a look at this one and see. All right, so they're expanding. Well, one of the first things is when I set this up, we have to kind of figure out where's their perimeter, and so I kind of put it high. But then after seeing this, I decided that I needed to do a more narrow search or more narrow heat mapping. And so my latest search or latest mapping, I basically zoned it down so that I can see exactly what's going on within that area. Okay. Or more, I guess I want to zoom in and see what's going on. And so if we look at this and we see church here, we see what's going on here. And so there's the reason this is not, I think one of the reasons why, the, I guess the ranking hasn't increased. Couple of factors. I think it has definitely has made changes based on what we did, but one of the things that I need to tell the church or the pastor at this church specifically is that you need to work on getting reviews. That's one of the things that is lacking, and because this is not a business per se, trying to get reviews is a more delicate topic, and so that's something that we have to work on. All right. So let me go to the next is Lisa Ortiz, and then we're gonna do one more, but I'm not gonna go in depth into Debbie and Robin. I just want to tell you a little bit about it. Lisa's been a client with us for a couple of years, and so if we look at her performance, and this is where Lisa has been doing really well because she does what we ask her to do, right? So at the end of the day, if we, it's like any coach or any, you tell somebody to do something, and if they do it, great, you're going to get the results. If they don't do it, then it's just like anything in life, right? So she's getting 629 search because people are typing in realtor, right? Here, they're also typing in Springfield, GA real estate, and she's coming up 34 search, real estate 16. And then we look here to see where, as I said before, is where can she expand. And so here is where Newington, I'm not sure. So I would have to talk to her and saying, hey, do you want to expand into that area? And then let's see where else. Effingham County. So, and then let me see where other. So that's about it. So, when I see that there's no town specifically shown, then what I'll do is I'll go into her heat map, right? And for her heat map specifically, we had to modify the search because her search was really working well. Actually, her search is very expansive. So, and when I originally looked at, let's look at February 1st here. So, as you can see here, I think this was based on each grid mark based on 1 mile, I believe. I have to take a look at. Let me see if there's any way that I can tell. I believe it was based on one. So each grid mark was based on 1 mile. So I said, okay, this she has good coverage. So what we're going to do is we're going to increase it, make each grid 2 miles. So that way we can see where she needs to expand. It looks like down here is where she needs to kind of expand. And so for our latest one, we did expand it. And as you can see, it expanded a little bit out. And so probably next month, when we run the search, we run the search every month, and we're going to expand it even more by 3 miles to see, to see where it goes, right? And so this is great because it's, and it's also because I think here's Guyton, here's Springfield, here's Rincon. So this is good because then in those areas, Lisa's still ranking 3rd, but she wants to actually probably try to rank 1 if it's possible, right? And that's ultimately what we want to try to achieve, is for her to rank number 1 in these areas. Okay. Let me see how she's ranking. So she's ranking for realtor, real estate agent, real estate. The reason why she's not ranking for homes for sale is because we're not optimizing her her Google Business Profile as well as a website for those terms. Okay. All right. Next thing that we're going to discuss is Debbie is actually one of our newest client, and I just want to show, we have not set up the heat maps for her, but I want to show you her performance. Okay. The reason I could see immediately, right, that because she has been in business for the longest time, people are finding her through her name, basically, at the end of the day, right? And because you don't see realtor, you don't see real estate, but what we want to do is we want to switch that around to where she's ranking for search terms like realtor, not based on her name, because she's been in business, so people are trying to look for her. And but that's a good thing too as well. But we also want to have people searching for real estate and search generic terms so that they can find her through Google Business Profile, right? And the same thing with Robin Lance Realty. Because she's been in business for a long time, you see what we did is that she is ranking for realtor. The only thing with, when it comes to, because this is a brokerage, I think it's a little bit harder to rank for realtor because they're an agency, right? It's not like Debbie because she's an agent. All right. I hope this was helpful. I know we went a little bit more than 15 minutes that I usually allocate. But if you have any more questions, for those that are watching this afterwards, after the live, there is a link below where you can submit your questions and I'll answer them. And let me just make sure there is no questions, because I usually like to, let me see. These are responses and I don't see any new questions. All right. So next week, I'm going to be covering, sometimes because I'm very fluid, I just kind of sometimes talk about different topics as I feel like it's necessary. And so if you're in my email list, if you want to sign up for my email list, go to freeleadsblueprint.com. Let me put that in. Let me start hide. Let me put in here, free leads blueprint. So That is kind of odd. I shouldn't have done that. That looks kind of weird. But anyway, right below is a link if you want to sign up for my newsletter and also get my free leads blueprint. This is the blueprint that we utilize to rank our clients on the search engine. All right, and so that is our blueprint. It is a little bit overwhelming. I know I have to simplify the blueprint, but it is what we do to get people ranking and generate free leads. And that's why I call it free leads blueprint. All right. Until next time, I will see you. Bye now.